Okay, everybody, thank you. Hitting the wrong button already. Let's get that. Greetings, folks. Everyone in the chat, thanks for showing up today on a Tuesday. We're here Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 11 a.m. 11:30, really. It seems like that's really been the time. I'm trying to do 11. I just can't make it happen, so I seem to be hitting it by 11:30, so why not? Happy to note for gold members, as I mentioned yesterday, we'll be resuming gold member exclusive sessions. They're going to be more intensive, specific. We'll have one on Saturday. I'm going to put together actually the full package for release on Thursday, so everyone come back Thursday. You can take advantage of that. If you are a subscriber or purchase the program, Harmonic Pattern Collection, you should be a gold member and signed up. Of course, we'll talk about crypto today. We'll talk about the markets down again. We have NASDAQ was down over 400. Let's do a quick peek. Take a look. Scraping the lows of the session again. Not much here in the way of NASDAQ since yesterday's kind of thorough walkthrough of the daily situation. We failed the 886. And we still have this crab. I was looking for something. Maybe we have a little bounce this morning. Nothing. And I expect this to sag for later today. Listen, you're trading 14,050 at the moment. We did trigger an HSI. So for those that are futures traders looking for something for today, be aware of the fact that we have to retest that HSI at a minimum. I talked at length about why I thought 1618, this crab pattern, would be your ultimate target for this move. But even for today, I would expect some kind of check back of yesterday's trigger. That's at 13,715. Take that for what it's worth. Appreciate it. What's happening, everybody? Again, thanks to all showing up today. Miss Stephanie, how are you? I know. Listen, you got to understand I've been crazy busy. I will get in touch with you. I'm not blowing you off. All right, I'm blowing you off. I'm sorry, but I'll call you today. And we'll touch base with you today. Yeah, and that's great. Neon Knight says, doesn't matter as long as there's movement and volatility. I agree with that. And again, that reinforces the trade it no hodl concept on crypto, short-term trading. Yeah, long-term markets, long-term positions, you might have something to deal with, but for the short term, use the larger patterns as a framework and then bust it down to a 5-minute or 1 minute, even in a market like this. Here's a 5-minute time frame. Check out what we had this morning really quick before I go into crypto big time. Beautiful bat pattern, and I'll get to this when I come back here in a second and do a full workup on NASDAQ and S&P. But again, this kind of move, you're in a downtrend. This is a 5-minute chart. Beautiful bullish pattern, does a reaction and then slams back down for the reversal, failing. That's something you have to be aware of. Okay, just draw it back out. Now let's get a little perspective. What do you think of that bullish pattern? I would only think reaction, and unless I had confirmation and maybe some other things there, this is happening a lot. This is what's happening in crypto. So let's bump over to crypto and get into that. Crypto. Bitcoin trading 37,000. It's up $300 for the day. And what's going on here is a reaction off of two things. This 1 hour crab pattern didn't look that great. 24 hours ago, it was really threatening a failure. The thing I want to watch on Bitcoin for the hourly, folks, and this is for all of the reactions we have seen off of these recent lows, is that we run into Another HSI, a bearish HSI. Here's the initial completion of that pattern, and then just count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 bars. If you're doing nothing by 30 bars, you have to either wait for another confirmation signal or another pattern. This one gave you another confirmation signal. Still not doing much 30 bars after that. Even on this 1 hour power pattern, your target one is 38, 869, 870. Another 1800, but we really just came off of the big 886 yesterday. So we talked a lot about why I was and still am targeting that 31,600 level as the big retest. At the same time, we did have the 886 retest of the June to January swing. I mean, almost exact, depending on your data feed as well. It really is was very close on some of these. Let me get the magnet on. So there's the magnet, and click on that low to that high, and then your 886, yesterday's low, 896 exactly. So this is in the last 24 hours. This hit. We mentioned this yesterday as we were favoring, again, the fuller retest of the target zone of 31,600 daily. There we go. That deep crab pattern, that 1618 of that last correction. Still am. Nothing's changed. You don't have any harmonic strength index, although I did pop up the relative strength indicator on the bottom. I haven't shown that normally. I just show amplified RSI, which is the top blue indicator. We talked about that, how deeply oversold that was yesterday, that it would still need time. We see that also in standard RSI down here. Also take note, okay, we don't have any kind of confirmation in HSI just yet, but if we could get it, that would be 3 of 3. Maybe that comes a little bit later. Where'd you go? Come on. Like, come down into there. So we want there to be an opportunity. It's, 50% off the all-time highs. Yes, it can go lower, and it's just a matter of what does it do at 31.6. That was what we talked about yesterday, of how much lower. Are we going to do a capitulation drop down, and then that would be it? I would like to see that. I would love to see this come down. Doesn't need to go to the hop. That was people, I think, were a little confused. Some of the comments I saw yesterday that you were asking, come on, Scott, is it 31.6 or 22.5? Make up your mind, please. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm from a framework perspective. In the same way that we wait for the pattern to complete to register a terminal bar, we need this to register a terminal bar. It needs to hit the minimum levels. And as I showed you from the example from 2020, that when it hit the numbers, it flushed through. That's the thought here. So nothing's changed on there. I still, I would like to see something trigger constructively. It's not there yet. You're oversold in both RSI indicators that still say more time. 2, 3, 5 more days. 4 more days easily. So you could bounce up to 38, 39,000 even. That would be a real... Just keep in mind that this could potentially do a major fake out. And this could be where your fake outs come in. Go up to 40,000 even, and then back down. That's why if we don't have our larger signals generated, we have to wait. We have to be patient on it to let it come together. No doubt, these have been destroyed. Things that you wish you could have got in on 2 months ago, 3 months ago, are now 50, 60% off of where they were. Nothing's changed. Just wait for that signal. So what's going on? So a lot of chatter in the chat. Thank you. Sure, there's the risk disclaimer. Thank you. This presentation, Harmonic Pattern Podcast, number 37 already. Wow. Is for entertainment purposes, not financial advice. I hope you find it educational. Just remember, take your time, folks. The other thing, again, let's do the 30-second rundown to help people that are new. Please, welcome, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Again, I think it's got plenty of videos there. Become a basic member, folks. Go to harmonictrader.com. Everything there is free. I have to repeat myself because it's great. More and more people are discovering the website, which to me, I thought people knew, but that's okay. But go to the basic members page, which is here. Once you register and log in, and again, download the books. Study those books. Study the webinars that are all in here. Just, click on through, go through there's a series of webinars all throughout there. And then again, get with the Discord. We're over here. Okay, get with Discord, Harmonic Pattern Central, HPC on Discord. And then finally the software. So again, that puts it all together. That's the 30-second update. Everyone knows. If your friends are interested, give them that link. But get with the software. Why? Because it gives us the levels. The whole notion of harmonic patterns, first and foremost, as a framework, is essential in guiding trading decisions. That's important. So that's what we're looking for in Bitcoin, to satisfy the levels within the framework that would say, okay, retest, satisfied by our conditions with some kind of confirmation value, back down at these levels, tell us there's an opportunity. Again, I see a lot of people ready to throw the towel in on Bitcoin, to say full on bear market. Your best and most popular YouTubers. When, as I said yesterday, bear market could be close to an end. You're 50% off the highs. And I basically laid it out yesterday. They said, hey, if we got a capitulation, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but think of it this way, folks. If we did get a drop down to retest the pattern, which none of them know, only, the people that are here watching the stream, watching the recordings, you folks know about the framework. You know about the levels. You know how these dynamics unfold. But think of it this way, even from a standard retracement perspective. If we drop down to 30, or, for goodness sakes, you come to 22.5, you're now looking at a 2/3 correction off the all-time high. Over 65, 68, almost 70%. But 2/3, 68, 69,000 to 22.5 would be a vicious wipeout bear market by definition, but that could be the end of it. And then, even if we started to take shots at 22.5 and it goes, and it's because some people are now just saying, oh, it's going to 10,000. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with jumping through that conclusion until we resolve certain levels, because no market moves straight down forever or straight up forever. You always have to go through a stair-step process where your retracements can easily be minimum 30-40% retracements, corrections. So now, with where Bitcoin is coming together with things that we've talked about, 22.5 would be a 2/3 wipeout. What do you need? You need an all-time 886? Not necessarily, but that would be more than enough for me to say that's dramatic on any scale, unless it's a complete wipeout, like you go back and retest your all-time numbers. I don't, again, we need to have the right frame of mind here. We started getting ourselves quite concerned about this breakdown somewhere around this 62.58 level. A lot of it had to do with, again, the just the simple fact you could not come up and sustain a 382. Yeah, that was around 53,500. And you kept sliding down, and we had that drop down to 42 where it was a complete washout and follow through to the downside. Well, 886, you hit it now. Start paying attention. Again, I think that's right there. And as I said yesterday, a minimum 236 reaction puts you to 41,000, a 382, and this could all be within the context of still a larger correction at hand, that you'd even do a 382 and then come back down. We have come a long way to be at this point to say, oh, it's over. The whole thing is over. No, in fact, what I'm saying is maybe if we get down to under 30 and do the washout there, that it could be over the downtrend. This correction could be over there. Everyone wants to just assume a full 886 jump down, which, maybe over time, but we will go through a series of reactions and reversals to get there. All-time 886, don't forget, basically is about 8,000. That would, if we're just going to call it for what it is, and I'm not, that would be under 22 or under 20,000. It would be nothing. So the other thing that we've talked about, again, where we have those larger retests, we do have on weekly signals. Here's amplified. Check out amplified RSI on the weekly. And this lines up pretty well. Here's the last time right here. Go back to November 19, and then COVID low was pretty extreme reading, but it actually was a complex structure here. And now you're all the way back to retest on the weekly. So what should happen here is an impulsive move, because look, your green line went on right there because this is a W formation. You can't see it, but mathematically it is. That's why the green line goes on. It comes up to the 50. That's when it starts, but it goes all the way up, comes all the way back down and around, and now finally retesting now where we have a potential confirmation because it's a higher low at a retracement on the weekly. Take a look at where that happened. Let's go back to, okay, check it out. All the way back here at around 7,000 was that complex structure. That's the beginning of this. And so go off this most recent point, off of there to the top. What's that retracement? I'd say it's a 50, or you're at a 50 level, about 37, 36,000 off of that 2020 low. Plus you're oversold. So again, at a minimum, folks, we're in that vicinity that it will be an early signal, but this is still trying to get out of the zone. It needs to get out of the zone to officially confirm, like it did back here. You go here, you spend 2-3 weeks in the oversold until this finally came out there. But it was only, it was within a couple bars of the extreme pivot low. I think at a minimum, it's a little different situation than right now than it was back at the COVID low. That was massive capitulation across the board. But this is an area I don't want to ignore with the other signals. Understand? Watch this 886. Watch that crab retest. All these levels. That says also maybe we don't, these prior lows, which is 29,000 going back to last June, would have to be some extremes. Yeah, a couple of you, I see what you're saying. Needs to back test 10,000. I don't look under. If we have a washout and it just violates 20,000 or even better, we just spend a long time doing nothing, and then we violate the long term uptrend. Okay, I agree. What if you spent 8, 10, 12 weeks going sideways, go between 30 and 40,000, which could happen for Bitcoin, and then roll over again? That's something you need to relieve some of the oversold conditions that you have, especially on look at your daily. Your daily did trigger an HSI on Bitcoin on most of your major exchanges with amplified coming out. So it's coming out on the daily. It triggered yesterday. Weekly is in the position where it's trying to make an inflection. What's the price? Because even if we check back and retest this HSI signal, that has to retest 33,100. And again, it's still structurally, there's no pattern here other than that prior pattern. But look, you need to come back, and 886 was hit yesterday. Yeah, 33,900, I would say. 33, maybe 34,000 exactly. So that's critical for Bitcoin. Let's look at total crypto market cap. I'll go to Ethereum because Ethereum, what happened there, right? Ethereum has just kind of lost its way, so to speak. There's a total crypto market cap still. This one did not reach the 886. I think I mentioned yesterday we do have an A, B, C, D off the top. You do have an HSI, but that's at 147 trillion, 148 trillion, and would like to see that come back and retest. Look, if you have another inside day, take a look even at the last 4 sessions. Major down, inside day, bearish, but still down, another inside day. That's a pause before you go lower and before you continue in the predominant trend. With a couple other trigger signals lower, got to keep an eye on yet one more retest down to your 886, which is 133. And again, your minimum HSI check back around 147. You haven't hit anything yet. You're on your way down. Clearly, I think everyone's now saying, yeah, we're down. Close, but not quite there yet. The other index that, again, I think is something to watch is the Defy Index, because that's held up better than the others. But take a look. This could be just on delay, mimicking what, say, happens with Bitcoin, just a lagging perspective. Go to the 886. This could be a 786 or an 886. Why? Your B point right here is fairly close to a 618. Not exactly what I'd want to see. I'd rather have it, right on the money, 618. So I'll just throw that down as an 886, 68 billion. That would be quite a fall. You're still there, but at least it could take more time, but at least you have a few complex structures. I mentioned this yesterday that are finally turning up. You're still in the oversold. It's not out of the woods yet, because this could, in its attempt to get out of the zone, give you a W formation, try to come up, and then roll back down. This has to pop out of the zone, and I would say at least one more day. So keep your eye on that formation. Also take a look at RSI, because if this does not convincingly pop through and start to work its way up and rolls over back into the zone, like let's say this comes back down and then spends another 2 or 3 days in that oversold zone, that's how you get to those lower numbers. That's why it's so critical to see this thing. If it's going to get out, it has to get out now. If not, and it spends more time, that's probably this weekend. Couple more. Let's show Ethereum. Here it is. Another daily, depending on your data feed as well, HSI signals. There's an HSI signal from yesterday. All of these at around 2200. But structurally, there's nothing here. Take a look. Oops, sorry. Let's go back to there. There you go. So Ethereum does have at least an HSI for right now, but the check back point is 2195. And we have been waiting for the 886 the whole time. There's a few different things. Maybe you could say there's an alternate bat. Not really, though. I would just still focus on 886, which is, 2030, 2020, something like that. Not even there yet. The other thing about Ethereum, where take a look at our amplified RSI. Let me just highlight that. Okay, this is really telling. And I think it's an example of other crypto you should be looking at. Also maybe NASDAQ too, of how deep it's going to go. Because check out what materialized on Ethereum on that last dip down. Really nice complex structure here. But what does that mean? Even if you're in that oversold, like we are, again, we still know whatever comes out of there is going to have to go through a reaction and then come back down for a reversal. So you're there knowing this is reactive. We're here again, and we know this is a W formation. Again, anything that comes out of here should just be reactive. Go up to the 50 level and then maybe reset for that retest next week or something. But check out, your daily 50 level across the board has been just capping the rally for the better part of 2 months. Really, we broke down. We had that green line stopped right there at the end of the year, yielded nothing. And then failing, the signals are forming another series of lows. So just looking at the indicator, tell me, is there a higher low anywhere? No, it's a series of lower lows, lower highs. This is still in the oversold zone, expanding. You need time, more time. At least HSI triggered, and I would look, the preferred scenario, come back, depending on what your data feed is, but it's roughly 2160, 2180, something like that. Retest there on Ethereum. The disaster scenario for Ethereum, we're looking at the 886. I don't think much other than looking at the long-term trend and basically if this is your argument for crypto in general, and I'm not trying to take anything away from crypto, but from a pure price action perspective, if you're bullish on crypto, your argument is that this is kind of a washout underneath the long-term uptrend that will quickly turn around and resume. That's not what I'm saying, but that would have to be your only bullish argument left. You do have some signals, but that would have to be the overreach, oversold level that even, you go back to your larger retracements, X to A, something like that. Basically, you're looking at a 50% correction and hope that that's all this is, that, it's another crypto 50% correction. But if we fail, we don't go to the 886, we go under 1900, what have you, there is not much. There's not much there. So I'll consider those larger levels later. But again, I think for this is like Cardano. This is so many of these where you're coming back. These are so critical. The rest of this markup phase is at stake of being retested if you don't hold. Needs time. So let's do a couple more, and then I do want to look at. I want to jump over to gold and crude oil again. Let me check in with what's going on, everybody. So that's. I know a lot of people are throwing out price points, and again, 10,000, 5,000, 20,000, 30,000. I don't think many people were warming up to any of those targets. Everyone had 100,000 fixed in their brain, but again, we need to wait for some serious signals to be confirmed. What is HOP, harmonic optimal price? Okay, HOP level that we use, the way that we look at that is we have our measured levels, and then we utilize that extra additional harmonic measurement as your compensates for kind of potential overspill. It depends on what the situation is, but is certainly we treat it as a make or break. And that's what we're doing here. 22.5 is huge make or break, but we're focused on the measured level. That's the important distinction. Let me do one or two more. I did want to show, wanted to show, where did we go? Here's Cardano, really quick. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but you are all the way back at $1, $1. Is this a shakeout? This is all about, I think, your 4-hour time frame, your daily time frame. Are you going to stabilize here and not make any more lows? This could be an acceptable kind of shakeout low, but let me just say, I think the make or break absolute limit for Cardano is essentially 94 cents, 93 cents. If you see yourself under 90, that would be a real big problem. Absolutely. One more. Someone asked for Zcash earlier in the stream. I said this. Zcash is just going back to the all-time 886. First, we were looking here, and it failed. That was at 101. But for these that are not trending, and there's a lot of crypto that are like this, just 886 is 50 bucks. Really don't need to complicate it. Other crypto that are trending, I don't trust them. There are some crypto that are, what was the one that I saw this morning? Here's Cosmos. Look at this. This has held up remarkably well. Remarkably well. Any opportunity here? Is this going to break out? That's your obvious, FOMO, fear. Oh my God, I'm going to miss out. It's going to break out. It's going to be the only one that goes any higher. But not yet. Got rejected 3 times, 44. So maybe we wait for something to develop, come back. You don't even have a retest low. The other one was Luna, which got real close. Came down to that 54 level and retested. There was a big bat pattern down here. And again, this was one of the leaders. Let me see. Where's that bat pattern? Not sure. I had it on it's a 4-hour chart too. Huh. Not sure. I had this. I don't know why it's not coming up. It's down at 54 bucks. I'm still waiting for 54. I don't know why this is not popping up like that. Keep an eye on it. It came back. There it is. Sorry. Okay, we came back to the hop at 54. Again, this was the whole thing last week of having to let go and capturing the reaction and not care if it explodes. Well, it did come back exactly on schedule. The thing is that you have an HSI signal that's counter. On your first move out of the zone, you run into an HSI. That tells me it probably needs more time. You might even come back. Where is HSI now? Sitting right at the 50. Probably have to retest. Come back and retest on Luna. So that's not in a spot that I want to be favoring yet. Could be. It could drop in here quite nicely, but no. So let's jump over, folks, to some traditional markets quickly. Crude oil. Here we go, and go sideways to higher. We don't have any HSI here. I think that's a positive development until you get some kind of bearish signal. Maybe you come back to the hop and then trigger it up here. I think you're going to consolidate. Then explode. It's all a question of, are we going to do a type 1 reaction right there to 75 and then go? Or are we going to spend more time sideways? This has been a strong uptrend in the face of a couple of, look, we talked about this yesterday, 1 reaction, 2 reactions. We get a 3rd reaction, maybe. It's not going through the hop, and it's fairly ugly on the bat pattern itself, right through your 886. But now the fact you can't continue higher, at a minimum, I'll say pause. I'll say pause here. Been all over the place. Where's NASDAQ right now? 1486 for the day, still down 300. Trying to come off these lows, but this is not what you want to see. This is a 1-minute chart on NQ, and just to show a couple of things, if I'm coming into any futures market, I'll say, what's the last 5-minute HSI signal? And look at HSI. It's all the way back here. Right there at what? 14,040. Kind of looks like that. We are in a type 2, amazingly. Check out this type 2 that did develop. This is the bat pattern, but sloppy. So I don't think we're going to bounce from here in a real significant way until we can resolve some of the larger time frame stuff. That 5-minute time frame for today, folks, we fail this. You go back and retest the lows yesterday at 13.7. Not a heck of a lot here, especially knowing that our big numbers aren't until 12.9, 12.8. And again, as I said, I started today. I said, look at what's happening with HSI for a check back at a minimum. And I think we will get it. You're pausing a little bit. You're coming off the lows today, but you still need to retest that. And that's 13,960. Now trading 14.1. It's not over. Lots of time left here. And until we test these other larger numbers, I'm not, again, for across the board, that's why, hey, if the stocks go down, crude oil might pause here. Even if the longer term crude oil situation is still bullish, which I think it is, this might be a pause while equities go into a bit of a pullback. So that bearish scenario links up with the breakdown, bearish pattern, a bearish pause, links up with this finishing the correction down here. And then we come back and recover maybe in a few more weeks. Something like that. A couple of more. I want to look at gold quickly. We haven't looked at this since, I don't know, over a week or more. The one market that has held its head, and not any kind of fireworks, but maybe soon to be. We're up here retesting the butterfly. This is something I talked about last week where we had the type 1 reaction that came down perfect, down to target 2, comes back, forms your HSI right there. This is what it should do, okay, on that low, and then retests it right there. That's the action. That's actually the kind of thing I'd like to see with some of these recent crypto signals. Consolidate, come back, retest, and then go. And in terms of gold, we're in a type 2 return. We finished the type 1 reaction, down at target 2, stabilized. Minimum retest 1868, hop level 1886. 1886, like that. I like that. And this still is against this larger bat pattern. Remember this? This is the type 2. So a couple different levels working to your favor, where 1946 is target 2. There's type 1 reaction, comes back for the return. Couple of confirmation signals, especially right there, and then right there. Now we make that march. I think minimum 1885, but if we can really blast through, this would be the place to look for it in the next few days. I still say that 1946 was my year-end target for gold. Maybe that could reach it in a few more weeks, and I'd be about 2 months late. But I'm still impressed with what this has done so far. A couple of more. I know that, let me look at the, what was the other one? Silver. So here's silver on the daily. Check out these recent patterns. Yep. A lot of back-to-backs. Really nice shark. Came back. I mean, this is a tough one because you did have a perfect type 1 reaction. Like from there, exactly hits target 1. Now, we're looking for the 886 as the official retest, which was 2187. I mean, I think it was within 3-4 cents of that official retest. Tough to say, but that could be type 2 there. And then let's see. I mean, really, silver will never do anything until it gets above 25.50. And I think 25.50 is probably will be continued resistance. We're not blasting off. It's looking strong, holding itself up, but you're looking for metals to do anything. Again, it's going to have to go through a whole process. You're not going to get hurt, I don't think, in metals, and you would like to see this break out, right? Go back to all-time new highs and continue. Look at the long-term uptrend on silver on your weekly. It's been pausing for better part of 18 months. Check out the massive patterns we had on silver down here at $13. So you had a lot there, and you failed. Check out the hop level. You had a crab pattern that actually marked the first reaction, but then you come back, you fail it. That's now support. So 21 area, 22 makes sense. But this consolidation's got to end where you go up and you reach for higher levels. Retest, try to go for the 886 up here around $45. Something like that. Silver's been, really sideways chop, but, holding its head. Here's platinum. This one, check out the monthly on platinum. And I still say that this is going to help the metal situation no matter how long it takes. Look at the platinum trade. That's beautiful, right? Type 1 all the way up. 886 at 88.5, 885. $885. We didn't hit it yet. came within, I mean, a scratch. Two things I would look on this platinum chart, which is it's a real beautiful chart, that I want to see HSI, because we're back down on the return. There's the reaction by definition up to target 1. And this should then stabilize, not really challenge this at all. If you come back to the 886 one more time, you're still looking for target 2. No matter what, if platinum if that runs, that will certainly help the other markets. I mean, this is underperformed, but in terms of patterns, monthly basis, that's significant. Might take a while. Look at the monthly. You're not down there yet on monthly, but if you could, that would be an important retest. A lot of these are in that kind of situation. A couple more. What's going on? CEI is up 17%. Nice. Thank you, Ziggy. Appreciate that response on that other pattern. That's not a pattern. It's not something I do. Ciphers are a top 5 pattern, so let's have a talk about that. So cipher is not a harmonic pattern, my friend. Path and infinite. Again, I don't know much about the cipher. I think it involves a 786, but of the things that I've seen, it lacks harmonic levels. There's no ABCD. What kind of harmonicity between a B point and your other components that would help define that harmonic level? Because it's not just a ratio. Don't want to spend too much time on that subject, other than let's not have that in our discussion. It's not a pattern, and I don't, most of the ones that I see fail. Let's look at natural gas. Nat gas all the way back down the 380 level, $4. Again, look at the monthly. That spike up to 6, we come back down. I'm looking for the next leg up. I still say this is definitely undervalued at the moment. I would look for this to come off of this most recent HSI signal. Coming back, they failed that initial 1618 test on nat gas. And you do have a bullish reading on at around 370. Here's the daily chart. Look at this. Okay, you did have the target 362. Now, it's really sloppy. What's the significance of that? Because this one just absolutely annihilated the crab pattern and then rolled over. Well, it did find support at target 1, and I would still treat this, is that a type 1, type 2? Is that coming back? 365 helps for the support level, and I'm thinking your resistance level is more like 6. Let's go to the monthly, because the monthly is, shows it. There's the long term going back 20 years. All right. Our retracement level of how much have we pulled back is basically 50%, almost at a 618. I wouldn't want to see much more than a 618. I think the big numbers are 365, 370 for natural gas. You go under 336, something else is happening. But I'm thinking this is the start of next leg. And let me go here. Back to the weekly. There you go. Again, you have HSI amplified, HSI triggered, plus you have amplified RSI that had a complex structure, comes all the way down. Now you're starting that return. What I want to see with nat gas and crude oil. If crude oil is going to bust through, it's going to have to do it right now and bust like natural gas is trying to do. Go higher through your 50 levels. And then it will likely continue. That's on the path of where it's been. And even if you do some kind of retest Just up to $6, I would still say I really think nat gas should be trading around $5 right now, maybe 4.80. But I think $5, I've said this before, big psychological level. And again, I have some experience with this market, with the actual physical exchange. I've spent quite a bit of time in the natural gas pits in New York, and I know how this thing trades. And they like to look at static numbers. There's a lot of big boys in this market that can put, size on when it needs to happen. But the larger phenomenon of, can they stop this larger bullish trend? I don't think so. And I still say that you have, from a pattern perspective, we had a lot of things up here, this retest of that bat pattern. You have a few levels here where that was only tested once. HSI has been pivotal for these swing moves. Let me just remove all the extra lines. And we have this most recent HSI on the weekly that says this should turn back up. I mean, we're now in the process of, resuming this uptrend. Again, squeeze between 365 on the downside, and you're much closer to support than resistance, and it looks up to there. Here's one company that's the king, LNG. Folks, this is just super steady uptrend. Okay, Cheniere Energy, the biggest LNG, liquid natural gas producer. Look at that beautiful COVID low, type 2. There's a beautiful, there's a looping type 2. Okay, comes up, beautiful pattern, extended type 1 reaction. Then it comes all the way back down and hits the hop. And it's the retest. You have confirmation, and then you go. Folks, that should be Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin. That really is a same kind of situation. You have back-to-back patterns. You have the retest. You get confirmation. And look at LNG did the same kind of thing. And there's your hop level. But that's one. I mean, that I know that's already, it's moved, an incredible amount, trending, doing quite well in this market. Here's your monthly. Check out the monthly. That's amazing. Amazing. Here's the other one, EOG, another natural gas. Yeah, these already moved quite a bit. But I think look at the historical perspective here. Yeah, you look like you're going to come back and retest all-time 886 is EOG is basically at 120. Some of these other energy stocks, folks, have they got hit recently. Now they're coming back up, and I think, if we take a minimum perspective, here's Apache again. I mentioned this. And look at their minimum targets. In the strongest of cases, they're going to retest their all-time 886s. In situations like these, go to your minimum, target 1. Type 1 reactive moves. That's Apache. Here's Chevron Texaco. Super strong on the monthly. About to break out, but check it out. Monthly basis on Chevron Texaco, Chevron Corporation, Chevron Texaco. This is probably one of the most important patterns in all of energy. And let's remove the bullish shark, even though that preceded it beautifully, type 1, type 2. All right, this one has already gone, almost did the perfect 1-2. Look, your exact 1618 was 134.99. It hit 133.99 and then came down. Those are very difficult situations. There's your type 1. This is a monthly, mind you. Straight down into the low 2016. Perfect HSI. Check back at target 2. And we should be thinking of these kind of long-term scenarios when we look at other patterns as well. I'll look at some big cap stocks on Thursday that are, a lot of them are at this point here. But for now, where are we with Chevron? Because we came up almost a perfect type 2. No, it failed. So we're really doing the type 2 now. 1618 is at 135. That's $5 higher. But I will say, okay, 135 or 156. Show me the first HSI signal between these two levels. It might be exactly 135. It might go 157. But take a look at what's happening when we get there. This is a great example, and especially longer term, where follow this. Get Chevron on your screen as kind of a long-term case study of how to analyze these, how to assess the type 2 retest, because tell me what's happening as we enter that zone again, going back many years to retest that resistance. HSI expanding, amplified, expanding. RSI, not even there yet. And it's good that I'm looking at RSI, especially on longer term levels, because the RSI does act as a filter for sure. You can really kind of help validate the other two signals. Take a look at the last RSI extreme signal was down here at basically COVID low. And that helped to confirm HSI and amplified as saying, okay, this is a real strong RSI point. And I would be looking at this the same way, but not until you get overbought. You're trading 66 now. We should easily trend up to 70 soon. A lot going on there. This is where energy, folks, again, you're looking for a breakout. And I think with something like this, the hop level at 156 gives you a lot of room for this thing to continue until you see some kind of signal. I will start looking at 135. But it's strong, and energy stocks, again, crude oil, we see natural gas lagging, but I think that's playing catch up. Continuous contract on crude oil. Again, you're banging up against this bat pattern here. Looks like this. There you go. But you are how many days? 3, 6, 8, 9 days since pattern completion, and you're continuing higher. So I'm not there yet. I want to watch what happens at that hop level at 88 and change, because if the bigger breakout scenario of oil going to 100 and all the inflation stuff happening, you're gonna see it above 88. So let's wait on that. Couple more, and then I'm going to get out of here. We had a long day today, but really good. I definitely want to clarify too that absolutely not here for anything but what I do with harmonic patterns. So again, dial it back, and let's just have a quick talk about what's harmonic patterns, what the subject of harmonic patterns, and individually what are harmonic patterns. And again, I think it's critical that we make it clear that there's a lot of things getting lumped into the harmonic perspective, harmonic pattern methodology. I understand why, because the stuff works. But if you don't have the right measurements, path infinite, that's what I'm saying. And so what I understand are M&W structures principally that are available in the books. What I want to show everybody is take a look at volume 1 for what really constitutes a harmonic pattern. And you can access that through the web page on Basic Members. But do look at what, not only what constitutes a pattern. Yes, it's the ratios, but it's the numbers that make up the zone, the potential reversal zone. And the ABCD type, your BC combination, your XA level. And if you don't have those measurements, it's really difficult to pinpoint something other than just a static retracement level. So let's keep it on point. maybe it was a little harsh in my response about anti-harmonic patterns the other day. And again, it's been frustrating because look, if the whatever works for you, use it. I'm not trying to say, one thing's better than the other. I'm trying to just define what's harmonic so that we have reliable levels that we know we're not just kind of like guessing, which I think what Cypher is. And those I think it's kind of like, let's just try these numbers. And when we don't have profit targets, we don't have additional stop loss assessments, all of that's critical. Those are things that I probably don't talk enough about, the ancillary measures that make things truly harmonic. Really quick, let's get into the big indices and wrap it up and get out of here. Dow was down over 1,000 yesterday, rallied back. Here are the Dow Diamonds. A couple of the major ETFs I want everyone to go through. If you have not looked at the ETFs for the major indices, be aware of what has materialized. Dow Diamonds on the daily hit a 1618 simply off of the last rally up where we go down to the 1618 at 332. Basically 33,000 is the current floor, and looks like we're in a reaction now, come back up, clear target one. There's a couple things about this that I wanted to highlight where, again, knowing what's harmonic and why certain numbers are important, a lot more substantial, a lot more true harmonic value when you understand not only alignments but the type of numbers. This crab pattern is what we call a perfect crab pattern. We have clearly the 1618. All right, we have a 1618 minimum ABCD alternate zone. And we have a 314 right there at your BC level. All of that says it should be a reactive 1618 move off of that pattern where we bounce back to target one, likely. I think that's, we're trying to do it right now. And I think we could make progress that still maybe have to retest at a later time. But for today and going into really the big news tomorrow, let's be aware of that big pattern. On the 5-minute basis, nice little crab pattern for today. I think that helps you, anybody who's at home trading futures or your office trading futures. I think we're going to see a little reactive bounce into the close today. Maybe come back there and then back down. But I think, we've stabilized from yesterday. We could see this thing drift higher, another 200, 300 higher. And tomorrow we have a pretty big announcement with our friends at the Fed. Here's the SPY, folks. Take a look at this. S&P 500 ETF, same deal. This is a shark. There's a crab in, if we connected dots, yes, there would be a crab here. For the SPY, we're really close to being done with this type 1. Get this reaction going off the type 1 move. We completed the structure, the terminal bar right here at 420. Hit 420, and we've bounced so far. The big number is 429. Why? That's the 1618 level off of the last rally. And I would say, can we get a type 1 reaction up to target 1 and then maybe come back down? Something like that would be, I'd be okay with that. And that would, let this market do some swings here. We're definitely oversold. Look at our indicators. Now, these are deeply oversold, which is the other aspect on the daily that I'm still looking. The fact that, look, HSI is still expanding. There's amplified, and that's at a 7.25. Oversold, it's 30. Overbought, 70. You could go as low as like 0, but that's rare. And standard RSI, look at this expansion. So I'm going to really keep my eyes on those two ETFs, SPY and the Dow Diamonds. If this larger market's going to find some kind of floor here, it's off of these zones for the index. S&P index, it's about 4,200. For the Dow, it's 33,000. And I don't want to go any beyond that. Yes, there are some larger possibilities, but I'm not really there. The QQQs and the NASDAQ, again, same deal as the index. The NQ index has a regular crab. This is a perfect crab as well because you have a 618 B point, 314. Although your C point, this one really should be at a 618 as well. But I would look at 314 on the Qs. Trading 343. So what, another 10 or 15% lower to test that? Let's see where we finish up today. As long as we continue to expand, you're going to need more time. And that would be the real usual consequence of doing this. You hit the zone, you pop, you break down again. It's going to take many more bars to stabilize here. It's not clear. It's not where it needs to be to satisfy the conditions you're looking for. I think it's really important. I wanted to talk about critical points of harmonic patterns, not only ratios, but the various terminal bar points, profit target points. These are all critical points that define the framework, which help you make decisions. So it's all fine. Look, if the cipher works for you, use it, please. If the XYZ ABC works, use it. Definitely. All of it, just use what works. I know the problem is that there's a lot of banter and a lot of marketing that has gone down in the last decade about harmonic patterns that I was not a part of. That it was like, hey, this is a harmonic pattern. That's a harmonic pattern. And then of what I've seen, alternate stuff, it's really shoddy work. So stick with the M's and W's. Those are the easiest. Those are classic. Those are from people like Arthur Merrill. Arthur Merrill from, the 1960s and 70s with his associate Edward Levy. Those guys were writing about M's and W's before I was born. So let's do that. The other ones. Scott Bot next week. XYZ, please. Next week on Scott Bot. Too much happening this week. But yeah, I'm there. I'm doing it, running it every day. How about those larger stocks? I really like what you got there. Yum. I would love to do a deep dive on these Thursday. There's Yum. Look at that. Yum Brands. Nice uptrend on a discount. Where's HSI though? About to pop. And that's all we really need to do with a lot of these longer term swing style positions. Get a minimum HSI signal on the downside like you had back here with something like Yum. And I should spend more time on this on Thursday because I am personally looking for a lot of these longer term big cap stocks for longer term opportunities. I want to capture this correction. Nothing here on Abercrombie and Fitch, but I will say something like Walmart is another one I'm trying to pin down. Like, let's say Walmart drops into this bat pattern on the retest. And look at that. Remember that crab? Check this out. And this should be how you're looking for, if you're looking for an investment or you're looking for major pivot points within uptrends, Walmart, Target, they're all there. And this is, Walmart has been one where I've outlined this before, type 1, type 2, and I've been waiting for this to come back down to 132, which is the 886 off the top. Maybe we get to 126. But that's a substantial long-term opportunity. You're at the low end of the 2-3 year range. And again, yeah, Walmart is on a crazy tear. Look at what Walmart has been doing. And if we're looking for major stocks, there's a big ABCD. Capping that weekly on Walmart. All right, maybe we need more time. It's still lower on a lot of these. I do like them. I like the idea of these big cap stocks, but I don't think they're there yet. Here's Coca-Cola. It's a retest of the hop. Look, Coca-Cola's up there at the hop level. I really want to keep an eye on these. They're flirting at all-time new highs, and if they start to roll over, that would not be something I'd want to be a part of. Here's Disney, and I think Disney we've been looking for this thing to drop down to its target. Take a look at I think it was a daily crab pattern. Our level, I think, was 140. Let me come back here. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we were looking at 134 currently, but this is the kind of thing with these big cap stocks, and we'll do more of this Thursday. But again, you're in a type 1 reaction. That's on a daily. And you're retesting HSI. I would be looking in this 140 area. Tell me what it's doing. Slicing on through. Maybe you go to 121. Disney might need a little more time. But in essence, like in theory of what I want to be looking for on these big, well-known companies, if I'm looking for a longer-term position, well, it's 25% off the all-time high. It's finishing a long-term reaction. You are in some oversold territory that needs more time, maybe a few more days, maybe into next week, and as low as maybe 121. But you're getting close. So let's move that to Thursday, because I think there are a lot of these ones that I'm looking at where there's plenty of time. So last comment, we'll move Tesla to Thursday. Alec, yeah, the Miami Meetup. So here's the story on Miami Meetup. So I actually have a space at the moment for a potential meetup. But I think I'm going to wait just because things have been crazy and the travel. A lot of people have expressed interest in doing a big meetup. And I think Seminole Hard Rock Casino in Fort Lauderdale is a great place. A lot of fun. And people can travel there fairly easily. But I think I'm going to wait until the fall to do a big shindig. So just to throw that out there, I know some people have asked me about if I'm going to do that. I was going to do it during the Bitcoin conference, and I can get it, but I just don't like all of the trouble that has been happening with the travel, and I'd like things to clear up a bit. So I would think maybe September. We'll stay tuned. I don't want to make it an inconvenience, but I do want to have something this year, get 50, 100 people, 200 people if we could get that many, and do a one-day super educational thing with a few people and have a big party. That would be a lot of fun. But let's let things settle out, much like the markets. Let things settle out. Let's be patient, and we'll come back on Thursday and we'll get into more of these. I think there's a lot of opportunities we want to line up. It's just we're early in the process. We do want to get ready, and if things get really nasty, well, we're still ready. Again, it's not a matter of when, it's just at what price. Same for Bitcoin, folks. So don't lose hope. It just literally need to hit the right level, supply-demand levels on Bitcoin. Yeah, here's NQ rolling over again. That's not good. I would say 13.7 again. Yeah, you've got an ABCD on the 5-minute at 14,022. You can't hold there. There's nothing here. We'll be back on Thursday, folks. Let's see how it all shakes out. Thanks again. Yeah, I'll teach you the dice roll at the casino. I'll talk to you that on Thursday. Have a good one. Have any questions, reach out to me. Get on the Discord. And we'll talk to you on Thursday, 11:30. Go get them, people. Go get them.